started that static, non-static.
Yes, we had started static and non-static, so we'll continue with from there onwards. Okay, yesterday we did a number of things. First of all, we learned what method overloading actually means. Method overloading means we are actually using the same method name to perform different tasks, but similar tasks. Okay, they are doing some things differently, but the tasks are similar. For example, here we are created two methods, and both of them are called add methods, but both of them have different signatures. And as I told you, that the signatures in the signature, the return type does not matter at all. So
Excuse me, sir.
yes, beta.
Are you presenting a screen?
Oh, I thought I was presenting. Yes, I think I am now. Am I visible? And is the screen
Yes,
visible?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you for reminding me, beta ji. Okay, so the rules for overloading is that the method names have to be the same. If the method names are different, so we will not say they are overloaded. So it doesn't matter. So one is called add, one is called subtract. So they are not overloaded at all. The return type does not matter in this situation. So return type is not taken into consideration at all. We discussed this yesterday also. The signatures should be different. The signatures actually means the arguments should be different. So arguments may either of these three, any of these three is supposed to be different. Either the number of arguments or the types of arguments or the arrangement of arguments should be different. We
Good
did
morning,
that.
sir.
Good morning, Vita. Okay, so we
Sir,
discussed.
I'm late.
We are just discussing yesterday's. We are just revising yesterday's work.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so here in this situation, the number of arguments is different. Although all the types of arguments and arrangement, etc., everything is the same. So all are int, but the numbers are different. Here we have one argument. Here we have two arguments. Here we have three arguments. The basic concern using overloading is basically that the system should actually know that which method is to be called when a call is made. So if this call is made, for example, the system knows that I am going to use this method to execute it. Similarly, in second one, I said, okay, if the numbers are the same, I could change the argument. So int, long, double. So they are different. In this situation, the arguments are int and long, but I have changed the arrangement now. One is int long, one is long int. Okay. Then I said, okay, are these overloaded? They are not overloaded because both of them have exactly the same signature. Both of them are actually add int. So I cannot create this function, the second function at all, because it will say that this function is already created. Then we started off with static and non-static. You don't need to know much in static and non-static. In static, basically. Okay, so for static, the syllabus says not much. No programming will be required. All you need to know is what are static and what are the rules for static. So programming wise, you will not be required to do any interaction between static and non-static stuff. But I will still explain to you. I had explained static variables like static int q. Okay, इसमें नहीं है. Okay, static int q is basically available to the entire class because that is actually a static variable which has been created. Then when I create an object called a, it will actually have its own m. So that means m variable, which is here, is basically and actually called an instance variable. I had also given an example yesterday that if I create a class called school, which has a student's name as a variable and a school name as a variable. Now, if I create school name as a static variable, this means that the entire class of that school, all the objects of school will actually get the same school name. There are no separate school names for each one of them. But when I create objects from school, let's say we created Gurasis and Vatsal yesterday, and when Gurasi's object is created, he will have his own name, but the school name is already there. Okay, and Vatsal, when Vatsal object is created, he will have his own name, but the school name is already there. Okay, this much should be clear to you by now. Any question till now? No. Okay. I'm actually showing you BlueJ right now. The same situation here. I have created two variables. One is a normal instance variable and one is a static variable, which is also called as a class variable. I have created a normal method which is called as a member method. So please remember these terminologies. The static methods are called as class methods. Static variables are called as class variables. The normal variables are called as instance variables. The normal methods are called as member methods. Okay, so these terminologies you should remember now. Now, tell me, I have not created any object of this class. I have created now a public static void main function. Main function. I have created main function, and I have not created any object. What do you think is available to the system even if the object is not created? I have not created any object. Pardon, sir? Pardon, beta?
A method you are asking, or variable, which is
Anything. Method and variables, both. I have. Okay, let me put the question again. I have created the main method. I did not write anything inside the main method. I have written nothing inside the main method. I have not created any object. Still, there are some things from this class which are available to the system. What are the things available to the system?
So variable y.
Variable y is available and
the
Search method.
start method. Okay, start
Excuse
method.
me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, actually, there was a net fluctuation. I did not understand the difference in y and x.
Difference in y and x. I had explained y and x yesterday. X is actually available to the object when an object is created, but y is available to the entire class, and it is available even before an object is created. This is what I explained. Okay, now I asked you, all of you, when I create the main method, I don't write anything inside. I have written nothing. So what is available to me is y, which is the class variable, and stat method, which is the static method. Okay, these two are available to me. So that means I have not created any object. They are still available to me. All right. Okay. What I will do is, let me
So you are not audible.
I am not. I'm writing something. Okay, let me finish Peter. Thank you. You thought I am not. I'm saying something.
Sir, I thought that you are saying something.
Okay. So what I have written in the stat method is I have just displayed system.out.println y is equal to y. So that means I simply am trying to display the value of y. Let me give the value of y as 99, and let me give the value of x as say 66. Okay. So when I say system.out.println y is equal to y, now I want to execute the stat method now. It is available to me. I have not created any object. It is available to me. It is still available to me. So what I can do is I can just write stat method function. That's all. So when I do this, what do you think is going to happen? No problem here at all.
will print y.
Yeah, it will print y. Okay, so when I display this now, Let me display run the main method. It says y is equal to 99. So y stat method has been able to access y. Have you seen? The static method has been able to access the static variable. Now I say okay fine, जैसे y को उसने access किया है, let me try to access x also. Can I access x? It cannot access x. Why? Because non-static variable x cannot be referenced from a static context. Now let me write something down first. Static can access static only. Member can access anything. So that means it can access anything, means it can access static as well as non-static. So these are the two statements that you will remember for static. That means the static can access static only and member can access anything. Now let's see now. It's not able to access x variable. Can you see this? Static method is not able to access this x variable. Why? Because x actually is an instance variable and it will be available only when an object is created. Can you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So that means I cannot
This is
do
the-
this. Yes, beta.
If the void function is non static, then also it can access that stat method or not.
If main function is non-static.
Yes,
No.
it has to be static.
No. See, static can access anything. So that means this static method main function, can it access this method directly? No. Can it access this method directly? Yes. So static can access static. So stat method can access main method and main method can access stat method. Right?
But you said member can access anything. So what
So
does
member can, this is the only member guy, beta, yeah, this is the only member. Now from here I can access stat method also. But from here I cannot access. Okay, just let me finish with this. These two I'll copy here. Wait. Okay, now if you see that, I'll remove this because this is not accessible. Can you see this, how things are happening? This
Yes, sir.
this is a member method. Can it access both of them? Can it access the static variable y and x, both of them? Yes, it is not giving any error there. Stat method was it able to access x? No, it was not able to access x. Are we clear?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Sir?
yes, beta.
What is a member method?
Member method is one which is non-static and it actually belongs to the object.
Okay.
It is a member of the object. Okay.
Sir, so it means non-static can access static variable also, no?
Yes. See, this is a non-static method.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
able to access y, which is a static method, the static
Yes.
variable? Yes. Is it able to access this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
If I try to execute stat method from here, is it able to access? Yes.
Then we need to use a dot with that.
No dot there. Yes. We'll talk about that dot later. Can I access method from here? I have not changed the line, so it's
No, sir.
we cannot. Okay, so again it will say the same thing, non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. So simply put, आप इतना ज़्यादा डिटेल में मत जाओ, आप सिर्फ इसका ध्यान रखो कि स्टैटिक जो है वो स्टैटिक को ही एक्सेस कर सकता है, मेंबर जो है वो किसी को भी एक्सेस कर सकता है. Okay, one more thing, I am accessing stat method from here from inside test class. Why? Because the stat method and main method are in the same class. Suppose main method was in another class, I would have actually used test.stat method to execute the static method.
So for that, we need to create an object, I think.
No, you don't need to. I have not created any object.
Excuse
Okay.
me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, I just got out for a connection, sir. Sir, I just wanted to ask her that only, sir. If the main method is made non-static in that program, sir, can it access any other than that static also?
Yes, it can.
So that only I asked first. You said no.
Oh, okay. No. I didn't get your question then. If the main method is non-static, it can access anything. But there is a reason why we make main method as static. I'll give you the reason a little later. Okay, so this means if I create a public static void main function and this particular is in some other class. Okay, is in some other class, then how would we access it? अभी तो यहाँ पर हमने स्टार्ट मेथड को यहीं से एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया फाइन इसने तो पता चल गया इसको कि कौन सा स्टार्ट मेथड इट इज दिस वन ओनली बिकॉज इट नोज वी आर इन द सेम क्लास okay but if main function had been in some other class then I would have actually used this dot stat method to execute it. Is it fine? you have been using similar methods in your class 9 also. For example, when you used math.pow function, what do you think is POW function?
It is a function of the math class.
It is a function, it is a static function of the math class. Okay, it is a static method of math class. Is that understood? If I say math.seal function, any other function that you have done integer.parseInt function?
Yes.
All these methods are actually being executed using classes. Can you see this? We never do it this way. We don't say integer I is equal to new integer function and then we say I dot parseInt. Do we do it this way?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, we don't. Why? Because
We directly access class.
Yes, we can directly access them using the class name. Okay, so that means parseInt being a static method, I can directly access it using the class name. I just need integer.parseInt. That's all. Okay, now in this, can I execute method using test.method function? Yes.
Sir, what?
Can I execute the method function?
No.
No, I cannot. Okay, why not? Because method is not.
It is in the same class only.
No, it is in the same class, but it is not a static method. If it had been a static method, I could have called method function from here using test. Okay, सीधी सी बात है जो आपने ये दोनों चीजें हैं अगर मैंने test dot method function if I try to call like this, do you think it is this possible? The answer is no. Why? Because it is a member method. It is not static. Static जो है वो I can execute using the class name. Are we okay?
So the function which is static, it can't access the function which is non-static.
Not directly. It has to create an object and then it can do it.
And if
it can,
no.
Let me answer your question. You said, can it be accessed? Can it be directly accessed at all? No, not directly. So what you do is test is equal to new test function. You create an object, then you execute the method function from there. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is how you normally do, isn't it?
Yes, this is the object accessing.
It invokes the method.
Yes. So you are invoking a method which is actually belonging to an object. So naturally you need an object. But for stat method, you don't need an object. So you can just use test.stat method. That's all. Does it make sense, guys?
So, sir, and if the function is non-static, then it can access any function.
it can access any function. So that means I have shown you from the method function, I am actually executing stat method directly, and it is able to access. There is no problem. Now, can I access using T? Can I access stat method?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. The answer is yes. So that means stat method को execute करने के दो तरीके हैं. अगर आपके पास object है तो object को use कर सकते हो. You can use an object to do it. If you don't have an object, you can just use the class to execute it. So the situation here, both the situations are okay with us. I can create an object of integer class and execute parseInt function from here. This answer to this is also a yes. I can do this also. But I can do this also. Why? Because parseInt is a static method, so I can use the class name for it. So that means static methods को call करने के लिए you have two possible situations. One, using the class, and second, using an object. Although this is a foolish way of doing it. All right. Because it actually belongs to the class, let it be this way only. Although if a question is asked, can you do this? Yes, it can be done.
Sir, is the class name integer here?
Yes, beta, the class name is integer in that case.
No, sir, in the first one, because parseInt is a integer.parseInt, it is used in that buffer reader class.
Yes, it's not in buffer reader class. It is used in connection with the buffer reader class, but it doesn't belong to the buffer reader class. So parseInt method is actually created inside integer class, and to execute it, I use integer.parseInt. So now the situation is this, that if you have a static method, then how can you execute it? You can execute it using the class name. But if the question says, can you create an object of integer class and execute it using that? The answer is yes. If you want to do it, you can do it. No problem. Make sense? Yes or no? Yes or no? How many people are confused? All right. Not many people are confused. Nobody is confused. If it was me, I would. Okay. Who? All right. So in fact, in using in the static thing, what you need to understand is this part, that is static can access static only, number one. Secondly, you can use any static method using the class name, but a non-static methods cannot be used using a class name. You'll have to use an object for that. Okay, you have to use static for that. And I also give you some examples like POW function and seal function of math classes. How are they executed? You could have executed, you always executed them using the math class. You say math.pow. POW is actually a static method of the math class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see the definition of the POW function on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
What is
sir.
it? It says public static double POW double A comma double B. So POW function inside the math class has actually been created as a static method. So naturally, we can execute it using math class directly. Okay.
Sir, it is lang only, no?
Yeah, it is part of the java.lang.math class. You know that java.lang IO Java dot util. You've been using these classes? Yes,
Yes.
Sir,
yes, yes. Java dot lang is a class which basically contains all the sorry, this is a package. This is a package which basically contains all the classes which Java normally uses for performing its tasks, like the math class, like the integer class, like the string class, like the other classes that you have done. Now you have done not done many. So that means if you wanted scanner class, for example, so आपको क्या करना पड़ता है? आपको java.util वाले package include करना पड़ता है, isn't it? You say import java.util.star.
Yes.
Okay. So for math class and integer class or string class, did you include anything? Did you import anything? No. Why? Because java.lang is a package which is automatically imported by Java. So there is no problem. You can just use it. Okay.
yes, sir.
This is beyond the point, but this is something which you should remember. Okay. You might lose 1 mark out of your from your thing. Okay. Okay. Now let me see what can we do now. We have done method overloading, signatures, object references.
Sir,
Yes, beta.
in an overloading function, will that function get executed or will it just wait? Like
No,
if we have all the signatures that match all of the functions, so will it execute all of them?
no. The only one of them will match, actually match. And only one of them should actually match.
So, but what if all one more than one matches?
Then the program will not compile. It doesn't know what to do then. Is that understood? It doesn't know what to do. Okay. Okay. We can discuss those in our extra class. Okay. How many people have been attending our extra class, that is 5 to 6 on Sunday? How many of you have not been attending? So I can see there are around 26 people who have attended. How many people have not been attending? Are you all awake? I've asked you a question. I don't think 32 people have attended my classes. If you have all been attending, Sarish. Okay, Sarish, what happened? Why?
The Sunday ones are kind because there are my tuitions at that time.
You have tuition at that time. Can you change the tuition time?
No, sir, it is a institute.
Okay. My second question would be, we have had, I think, 3 extra classes till now.
Yes.
Yes. And have you seen the videos of all the 3, Sarish?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then it is fine. Okay, because I record those extra classes, and in case you want to see them, they are also uploaded on our website, so you can all see from there. Okay, I take this task of uploading everything. Thank you, Kritin. I upload everything onto the website, so all the videos are available forever now. Otherwise, they are available only for 18 days. Okay, now let us discuss something which is in the next 5 minutes. These are access specifiers or access modifiers. Okay, access modifiers में जितने भी हमारे पास components होते हैं class में basically we have 2 components, we have variables and we have methods. So methods or variables में से we can change the access using the access specifiers. If I use public as the access specifier, this means it is accessible everywhere. Okay, it is accessible everywhere. That means it is accessible from within the class, it is accessible from outside the class, within the same package, outside the class, outside the same package, outside the package also. The second is private. Private, public is on one extreme of the accessibility, private is on the other extreme. This is accessible only in the class. So that means ये सिर्फ उसी class में के अंदर से ही access हो सकता है if you create anything as private. So you must have understood these two. The next one is protected. It is accessible to the class and subclasses in case it is inherited. Okay, so that means if I have a class called A, from which I have inherited class B, from which I have inherited class C. So that means if in A I created a protected variable called M, for example, so M is going to be available where? It is going to be available in A class. Why? Because it is accessible to the class itself. And remember, I've created it as protected. Will it be accessible to B? Yes.
Yes, sir.
And to C? Yes. Okay. And for example, if I have another class called H, which is not in that hierarchy, will M be available to H?
The what?
Is not in this hierarchy. Hierarchy means उस class subclasses में situation में नहीं है, inheritance में नहीं है.
No.
So M is not available. Okay, if M was created as protected. Be okay?
Yes.
Sir, can you explain again?
Okay. Inheritance is not in your syllabus, so you can just imagine a class inheriting something from another class. Okay, like you inheriting from your parents, or an organization inheriting from its parent organization. So if I create a class, yes, beta.
Sir, how do classes inherit each other?
If you want to ask that, it has to be in an extra class, not right now. Inheritance is not in your syllabus. Okay. So when inheritance happens, if A has been inherited by B and in A I have created a variable called M, which is protected variable. Is it accessible to B? Yes. Is it accessible to C? Yes. Is it accessible to A? Yes. Why? Because it is protected or accessible to the class and the subclasses. Now suppose I had created this M as private. If this was private, then what would have happened?
Only in A.
Only in A. Is it accessible to B?
No,
So
sir.
M is a variable.
M is a variable. M could be anything. M could be a method. M could be a variable. Okay, so A private variable created in A is not accessible to B and C, although they are inheriting it. And outside, and there is an H class, it is not available there also. But if this had been public, then would it have been available to B? Yes.
Everywhere.
To C, yes. To H, yes. To anywhere, yes. Okay, the last one is default. I'll take 1 minute for that. If I don't create anything, if I don't write any accessibility, so that means it is actual, it becomes default. So that means if I create a variable with like this, did I write private string so and so? I did not. I just wrote string so and so. So which accessibility does it have now? It is the default. It is the default one. So default की situation क्या होती है? Default की situation होती है, you have a class A, you have a class B, independent classes called class C, independent class D, independent class. Okay. Now all these are in the same package. As you can imagine, ये जो तुम बनाते हो ना इसके अंदर ब्लू जे में, ये जो तुम्हें सारा कुछ नजर आ रहा है, ये सारे के सारा एक ही पैकेज में है. You can imagine, you can think that.
Yes.
Okay, so that means these are all combined into one package. Suppose I have another package which contains two classes X and Y. In A, I create a variable called int m. If I just create int m, will it be accessible to B?
No.
A, B, C,
No,
no.
sir.
Okay. No. Just a minute. A, B, C, D are in the same package. X and Y are in another package. So if I create it with int m, not public, not anything, then this int m is available to B, C, D, all of them. Understood?
Sir, how package?
Package, this is a package. Okay, so how package creation of packages is not in your syllabus, but you just understand this much till now, that A, B, C, D are 4 classes created inside one package. And if you create a variable with the default access, then that particular variable or the method is available to all the classes inside that package. But they are not available to anything which is outside that package. Okay?
Sir,
Okay,
so
sir.
the default will be that it will be accessible to all of the classes of the package.
All the classes in the package. Okay.
Excuse me,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll stop now. In the extra class, we are going to start off with this. Now, extra classes are going to be a little serious now. Okay. So, although recordings are available, I think you should all be attending those classes.
Excuse me,
Hanji
sir.
beta? Hanji
Sir,
beta?
can you for the private access specifier, can you please tell what does private mean?
Private means it is, if I write it as private, it is available only to A.
So if we write it as public,
If I write it as public, it is available to A, B, C, D, all 4, and X and Y, all 2, all of them. Okay. If I write it as, yes.
several
Yes, beta.
several packages are not created by us, no? So how can we
are uncreated by us, beta?
Yes, sir, that's one thing, but
then the protected, what will it do?
If you create protected, if there is no inheritance involved, then protected is available only into A because we have not inherited anything. But if suppose B class was inherited from A class, M would be available to B also. But
So then how to inherit things in Java?
It is not in your syllabus, guys.
Oh.
You want inheritance, you take an extra class now. Extra class में तो फिर भी वही करेंगे जो हम हमारे syllabus में है. Okay. If you want, yes, we will do something about that also. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. We want extra class.
yes,
You
sir.
should have, यार ये 35 minutes में ये तो बातें करते करते ही खत्म हो जाता है. So okay, we'll continue on Sunday evening. Although tomorrow is also available, but anyway, Sunday evening is fine. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, beta. Thank you, guys.
Excuse me, sir.
Hanji beta ji.
Thank you, sir. Bye,
Sir, due
sir.
to